the true crime story of Tommy Baker, Papua New Guinea's most wanted criminal and his notorious gang. His crimes spanned 2 prime ministers and 2 police commissioners. Likened to Ned Kelly and Robin Hood and widely covered by the media, he claimed to be reclaiming Alotau and Milne Bay from foreign influence. But was he truly a people's hero or just a criminal exploiting nationalist sentiments? This PNG Trends Burner mini-documentary of true PNG crime stories spotlights the life, crimes and the intense manhunt that ultimately stopped Tommy Baker and his notorious gang of Alotau, Milne Bay province. Tommy Baker's journey began in the peaceful coastal town of Alotau. Born in 1986, Baker was a shy little boy known for his charm and intelligence. However, life took a dark turn when a series of unfortunate events forced him to drop out of school. This was the beginning of his spiral into a life of crime. To survive and make a name for himself, Baker formed a gang with his closest friends, Makira Yawi, Jack Toku, Mikatila, and Peter Owen. Together, they quickly rose to notoriety with a string of daring armed robberies. But this was just the beginning. As their confidence grew, so did the scale of their crimes. They expanded their operations to include piracy and brutal murders, spreading fear from Port Moresby to Kimbe and Alotau. A key motivator for Baker was his disdain for foreign influence in Milne Bay. He openly criticised politicians like then-Deputy Prime Minister Charles Abel and Governor Sir John Luke Critton, whom he saw as foreign puppets taking over the politics of Milne Bay province. This nationalist sentiment became a driving force behind his actions, adding a complex layer to his criminal activities. In an exclusive interview with the Post-Courier, Baker defines himself as a nationalist. Here is his ideology that driven him to commit crimes in his own words.
Milne Bay has been under the control of foreigners for too long. Most of them came in under the church as missionaries. When PNG gained its independence, many left, but for our province, they stayed and they continue to feed off us under the cover of the church. Our province, our people remain the same with little to no development. Yes, you come to Alotau, it's beautiful, but have you been to the villages? Up in the mountains, out in the seas? Our elders respect these white men, missionaries, families of missionaries, but we have grown and we do not like it. It's time we Milne Bay run our own province. This is our home, our land. We are Papua New Guineans. We gained our independence in 1975. Why must they still continue to control us, tell us what to do, take our lands from us?
Tommy Baker's reign of terror was marked by escalating violence and notoriety. He developed expertise in guerrilla-style hit-and-run tactics, heading a gang of up to 100 men who engaged in murder, plunder, and arson. He was captured briefly in September 2018 and locked up in Bamana prison, but faked a knee injury and escaped from Port Moresby General Hospital. Since then, he's been a fugitive. Since 2013, his gang members have been arrested and some killed. Fast forward March 22, 2019, one of Tommy Baker's trusted lieutenants, Joe Siar, was captured by police at Hagita Estate, Milne Bay province. He was lured out of hiding to meet one of his wives after being on the run for 3 months. But Baker has proven elusive and his crimes persistent, including many attacks on police and their families. Tommy Baker and his gang were responsible for the deaths of at least 2 policemen and a lawyer. The lawyer was killed in a crossfire between police and Baker's gang. The gang's violent activities, including these killings, significantly escalated the tension. Alotau lived in fear of him, and police also feared their reputation of brutalizing the community in their hunt for him. Beginning of 2021 was defining for Tommy Baker and his gang members. In February 2021, a gang member, Gabby, suspected of killing a policeman in Alotau in 2016, was wounded and later killed by police on what was apparently his regular errand to buy supplies for Baker. In mid-March, some 70 members of the Baker gang retaliated, attacking a police station. They were repelled after a 6-hour gun battle. Then later that week, the gang had another go and burned down the police barracks in Alotau. To put it in perspective, the first quarter of 2021 marked a significant escalation in their criminal activities, where Baker's gang instilled fear and uncertainty across Milne Bay. The community, once divided in their perception of him, began to feel the weight of his actions. The gang's notoriety grew as they targeted not just financial institutions, but also police stations and public properties. Determined to end Tommy Baker's reign of terror, the government launched an extensive and costly operation to bring him to justice. This mission involved millions of kina and significant manpower, facing numerous challenges along the way. Following the devastating attacks in April 2021, a 60-day manhunt was initiated, costing the police more than 2 million kina. Police Commissioner David Manning acknowledged the difficulties faced, particularly due to limited resources like boats for sea patrols. Despite these challenges, the police remained relentless in their pursuit of Baker and his gang. The Mobile Squad, a specialized police unit, was sent to Alotau to track down Baker. This deployment came just 48 hours after Baker and his gang shot and killed a lawyer, burned down 8 police houses, and took off with an ATM machine loaded with cash. These actions were a response to police burning down a family home belonging to one of the gang members' parents. The manhunt for Tommy Baker was intense and drawn out. The operation required extensive coordination and support from the local community and law enforcement agencies. Baker managed to evade capture for years, partly due to the protection he received from the local community in Milne Bay. Despite several close calls, his network of loyal supporters and his deep knowledge of the local terrain allowed him to stay one step ahead of the authorities. Specialized units, the fearsome police mobile squad, were brought in, and the police combed through the dense jungles and rugged terrain of Milne Bay, often engaging in gun battles with Baker's gang. In one such confrontation, Baker's right-hand man, Makere Yawi, and 7 other gang members were shot in the mountains of Alotau. There were reports that Baker himself was wounded during the police hunt, but he managed to remain at large. Thursday, December 30th, 2021. The air was thick with tension as the police finally closed in on Tommy Baker. For days they had been tracking him relentlessly, and now he was cornered in GUINEA, just outside Alotau. In the dead of night, a fierce gunfight erupted. The community held its breath as bullets flew and the clash reached its peak. In the end, Tommy Baker was shot by law enforcement, marking the dramatic end to his reign of terror. Word of his death spread like wildfire. Residents, eager for closure, flocked to get the latest news. The 2 daily newspapers sold out in under 20 minutes as Alotau residents devoured the details of Baker's demise. This violent showdown was more than just an end. It was a testament to the high stakes and intense efforts that had gone into capturing him. His death marked the conclusion of a dark chapter in Milne Bay's history, but the scars of his actions remained, a stark reminder of the terror that had gripped the community. Tommy Baker was one of Papua New Guinea's most notorious criminals, known for his long list of crimes and his ability to evade capture for years. Born in 1986 in Alotau, Baker grew up in a mixed parentage household with roots in both Gulf and Milne Bay. His father worked as a Kiap, a government official, and Baker attended local schools until he dropped out in Year 11 at Cameron Secondary School. Baker's journey into crime began with his strong nationalist views. He believed that Milne Bay had been under foreign control for too long and sought to change that by any means necessary. Forming a gang with close friends like Makere Yawi, Jack Toku, Meki Tila and Peter Owen, Baker led his crew into a series of daring armed robberies, piracy and murders. His gang was responsible for the deaths of at least 2 civilians and 3 policemen. They also burned down police barracks and other government properties, creating chaos and fear. Baker's ability to escape custody multiple times only added to his notoriety. Each time the police got close, he managed to slip through their grasp, keeping the community on edge. But Baker's life of crime came to a dramatic end on December 30th, 2021. After years of evading capture, the relentless manhunt finally caught up with him. His death marked the end of a reign of terror that had left Milne Bay scarred. Tommy Baker's story is a stark reminder that crime doesn't pay. Despite his claims of fighting for his people, his actions brought nothing but pain and suffering. His life serves as a powerful example of how the pursuit of crime can ultimately lead to a violent and tragic end.